Hey everybody, I'm Dylan. This is Michael. Welcome to Nerdy Nakama. Let's talk anime. Hey everybody, here we are with the third episode of Nerdy Nakama. Here today we want to talk about my devil fruit theory, a few manga that we've been reading lately, and also the live action anime of One Piece and Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Pretty excited because, me and One Piece, it's my favorite series. So anytime I get to talk about that, it's a great day.
I'm not very excited about the live action, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So, first thing I want to talk about is my devil fruit theory because it's something I feel a little proud of. And after Lady Toki was introduced to the story, I felt that it kind of helped solidify this. And maybe not solidify this, but at least support it. So, think about how devil fruits have souls in them, and you cannot have more than one of them because these souls are fighting within your body.
As stated by Jabra in his lobby.
He was so freaked out by the whole devil fruit thing. Just get it away from me. I can't even be near it.
He didn't even want the devil fruit touching him. It was terrible.
No, being in the same room had him shaking in his boots. So anyways, my theory is that these devil fruits are something that the world government created. What they were the souls from this ancient kingdom, maybe just the D clan. I'm not sure, but the enemies of the world government during the Void Century. And I think what happened, in my opinion, was that the world government planted this special tree on top of the graves of all their enemies and this ancient kingdom and all the people in it. So what happened was all of the souls, all of the powers were sucked up into the fruit. They were sucked up into the tree as nutrients, put into the fruit, and therefore you had devil fruits giving powers to anybody who ate them, and also, as we know, inhabiting the soul of this person.
I mean, I like that. The one thing that I was thinking about right now would be we saw how Enel went to the moon in his cover story, and there was what looked like, a lot of people say, is an upside down straw hat that they used to fly down, but I don't really agree with that. But at the same time, they could have had some form of technology that allowed them to siphon out souls. You know?
That's very true. The other piece that I think kind of helps this, and like I said with Lady Toki and the time fruit, is Lady Toki is the one person that we know comes from at least 800 years ago. Very, very likely the Void Century. So why is she the one person whose name is the same as her power?
See, that actually makes a lot of sense. Because there's no one else that I can think of right now that has a name that goes perfectly with their fruit ability.
Exactly. I mean, you had Ace, he was Fire Fist, but it was a nickname given to him. You have many nicknames given to him, but she was very clear that her name was Toki. I mean, her name is Time. She ate the time fruit. And the other thing, I don't think it's been explicitly stated, either way, but any time that she had mentioned that it was a fruit she ate, I believe it was out loud to somebody else. And obviously, having skipped through time, seeing how things progress, she's not just going to reveal this information.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. But, see, the thing that I started thinking about when you brought up the whole tree is all the different trees in One Piece, like the Atom tree, the Ohara tree, and then that beanstalk that held up Skypiea. So, trees definitely do play a big part in this world and how big this world actually is. They have giant overgrown trees, so I can definitely see in the past there being a tree larger than anything we've actually seen so far.
Well, and it's been also confirmed that Elbath has the beanstalk, right?
What?
Don't they have some sort of giant?
Was that confirmed? Because I know that we saw Elbath in shadows during Big Mom's arc, I believe, Whole Cake Island.
Well, let me see here. Try and bring this up. But I do believe at one point that it was shown the city of Elbath. Yep, Elbath One Piece. And sure enough, right behind one of the mountains,
Yeah.
you see what looks like almost a beanstalk
I
climbing.
mean, it goes perfectly with them being giants that they have that. But my question is, how does that beanstalk go from somewhere in the New World, presumably, all the way to the paradise of the first half of the Grand Line to hold up Skypia?
Hmm.
I don't know. I always found the beanstalk over there really interesting because you never see it while they're sailing to Jaya, and you don't see it when they're climbing up the knock-up stream. You don't see it anywhere except for when they actually get to that island. So it's really curious how like it
Hmm.
would curl throughout the sky and how it's possible that it's just covered with permanent clouds and like sways with the wind, possibly. You know?
Yeah, I do remember hearing the theory about how that one in Elbath is the one that comes up to Skypiea. It's just they're in two completely different parts of the One Piece world. So I'm not sure. You definitely have to curve up and just get super crazy.
See, the only time we actually saw like a zoomed out version of the One Piece world was like only in maps and the globe in Ohara. So we don't have enough to go off of to like
No,
see from like an actual zoomed out view from like the moon presumably to show any giant trees of that
one of the
sort.
seven moons, or whatever there is.
Man, I love the geography of One Piece, and like that reminds me of watching some YouTuber about
Yep,
it. He talks about
I
geography
know
in it,
exactly who you're
but
talking about.
yeah, Tekken, he's great. But we see in Ohara the globe and how many moons are surrounding it, and it just always makes me think, how big is the One Piece world? You know, like how what are the measurements? How much gravity does it have? What are the peaks, the
Yeah,
mountains?
I'm
It's
excited
crazy.
to learn more. I feel like I wonder if it was possible. So there's a theory out there that they say that Wano was pulled together by um, Orza's clan, people of Orza's race. And that's possibly part of the reason as to why the weather patterns in Wano are so crazy, as well as the whirlpools and everything, is because people from Orza's race back in the day dragged these islands together and created Wano.
See, that
So,
would be really cool. The only hangup that I would have about that theory is we saw Odin when he was younger. He actually cut a line, a river, into the flower capital and caused a giant river and lots of damage. But with that idea, I think it might be possible that it was cut by either samurai or something else going on behind the scenes there.
well, and the other thing that it kind of makes me think of is you've heard the theory about the red line falling, correct?
Yeah, of course.
So, and the theory about it being manufactured.
Yes.
What if this was manufactured by some devil fruit or race that was able to pull all this land together and create the red line? And that's one reason that One Piece is covered in all the water and there's all these islands. Is because they took all this land, this extra land that wasn't being used, and created the red
I
line with
can
it.
see, I could definitely see that the ancient race of the Ors people, however they are called, the demons, like actually pulling together Wano. But I feel like Wano is so important to the opposite side of, what is it? The opposite side of like the world government. They are the ones that manufactured like the red line and presumably as well as
Mm-hmm.
they were the ones that kind of separated all the different races of the One Piece world, doing all these bad things and enslaving different races. I just can't see it being like an enslaved thing that the Orz's race brought together Wano. Possibly like an alliance in the Void Century where they did that. But I don't know. Even then, I feel like it would have to have been something else.
That makes sense. Like, it's not just something they could have done alone.
Yeah, I feel like the people of Wano, since they're such good craftsmen, they're so good with hockey or ryuo as they call it. They know how to cut things so well. Like I feel like it's possible that they cut through the land. Maybe they did have the Oars race actually lift Wano out of the water, and that's why it's so high into the cliffs when you're actually coming up to it.
Hmm.
I can see that for sure. And we even get to see, what is it? the I can't remember the name of what it is. It's like a trough where they like add water into the center of the like hole in Wano, and it raises ships and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So like I could see that they're getting that water from the ocean surrounding it and bringing it up that way.
I don't know. I'm excited to find out more about the origin of Wano. I hope that we find out something. It's tied to the Void Century and the Ancient Kingdom, the poneglyphs, everything like that. So I could definitely see us getting a very far origin story for Wano.
I remember hearing something about Odin talking about when we get introduced to Vegapunk, he's gonna kind of it's either he said Vegapunk or someone else is going to be kind of his mouthpiece and like explaining everything that goes on in the world and everything like that. So I definitely feel like since we're getting close to meeting Vegapunk after
Mm-hmm.
he got mentioned by Orochi and then the CP0 and all of that, we might actually get a lot more in-depth information about the history of the world, what happened with the world government, the ancient kingdom, and everything like that from whoever Vegapunk is, which I actually have a theory about.
Yeah, because Vegapunk's just right around the corner. So
And
who do you think Vegapunk is?
I think Vegapunk is, get ready for it, Kizaru.
Oh, I've heard that theory actually. Because Sentomaru talks about Vegapunk a few times, and he talks about Kizaru. I don't know all the details off the top of my head, but I have heard this theory before actually.
I'm pretty sure you did hear it from me in the group because I talk about it all the time now. Like, Kizaru, he went to Subodi Island, right? But Santamaru is supposed to be the bodyguard for Vegapunk. Why would the bodyguard for Vegapunk go somewhere where Vegapunk isn't? So no matter what, we know Vegapunk should have been on Sabudi during that time where Kizaru was beating all of the supernova like to death basically.
Mm-hmm.
So that point alone is enough, and we see that Sentomaru was looking for Kizaru, as well as Kizaru was looking for Sentomaru. Like, they were supposed to find each other when they got there and everything, but, Kizaru was kind of slow. Funny joke. But,
Because he's smoking weed all the time.
hey man, if you're going light speed all the time, of course you want to slow down every once in a while, man.
That's a fair assumption. That's a fair assumption.
But like if he actually is going at like light speed all the time, that means he's thinking at light speed all the time. So it's easily possible that he is that much smarter. Like his way of thinking is like a supercomputer. He could think at the speed of light. So he's sitting
Mm-hmm.
there his entire life, living thousands of lives in just a couple days or minutes. I don't
Well,
exactly know the calculations for light speed, but
so how many times in anime and other things have you seen someone that can just move so fast they create duplicates of themselves? Don't you think someone who can be quick as light or is made of light can make duplicates of themselves?
I think that would be possible because we see the Flash do things like that all the time, but the Flash is so much more. He's beyond light speed at a point. He can travel through time on a whim, but
Yeah, I mean there's a cosmic aspect to where the Flash is at now. It's not just something that is tangible that we can, conceive, I guess.
yeah, we can't calculate his speeds at all. He can make infinite mass punches. He can do all this extra stuff. He became like, what was it, the speed god of death or however they called it.
Mm-hmm. Savitar.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep up with DC a little bit when it comes to the comics and everything, because I mean it is cool, but I like my manga.
Yeah, I do enjoy comics a lot of times. They're they're definitely just two different worlds. So, speaking of manga though, I think you had one that you were wanting to talk about.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite ones. I get excited for it every single week. It's not exactly a manga though. It's a manhwa. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it's from Korea. It's Solo Leveling. It's right along with the other one called Hardcore Leveling Warrior. Both of them with leveling in their names. That's why I keep them together in my head. But Solo
Mm.
Leveling is basically about this guy. He's in like a world where they gained powers and you get like put into ranks, and it's basically like an RPG kind of system that they have. So there's mages, there's tanks, there's healers, all of that.
Okay.
And they go into different dungeons and they fight, and they have to beat the dungeon bosses, and then they get to leave, get their money for saving people or however the system is, because if you let a dungeon go on for too long, it can start leaking into the actual cities and everything that they have.
Kind of sounds like
So
a little more of an advanced Goblin
this
Slayer.
guy starts at like, yeah, I feel like it's right in the middle of like a Goblin Slayer and a Sword Art Online kind of thing.
That was the exact other one I was thinking of actually when you were
Yeah,
talking about
it's
this.
he has like the whole game hub, but he only kind of got that, and he's the only one that has it, and he can level up while other people can't actually like get their skills to increase through like fighting or training or anything. He's the only one that has that ability. So that's why the premise of it is solo leveling. And I think there's another translation of the way to say the name, but they basically both come out to the same thing. It's all about him getting stronger, and that's kind of it. They introduced other plot points and everything, but I don't want to spoil too much for anyone who is actually interested in reading it. It's definitely my favorite of all the new like manga that are out there. It only has like 103 chapters right now. Still waiting on 104.
Man, I'll have to maybe look at checking that out. I've been getting a little more into the manga lately. One Piece was the first manga that I really got into, and then My Hero after that. But today I picked up that One Note Death Shot or Death Note One Shot. Holy cow, I really messed that up. Check that out today. It was really, really good. We'll have to talk about that a little bit later. But I'm actually gonna go read a little more Demon Slayer right after we get off this. So
Oh, thank you for reminding me. I haven't actually read Demon Slayer in a good minute. It should be piled up right now, so that's exciting.
yeah, I think I'm on chapter 62 or so. I'm where the anime ended. Like I said right before the train arc. Now that
Oh, see, I got
oh.
confused. I thought you said Goblin Slayer and not Demon Slayer. My bad. Get this.
Nope, Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Yeah, Kimetsu no Yaiba. Yeah, I'm fully caught up in that. I read the recent chapter this morning,
I
actually. But
I saw a spoiler. So if
uh
if if it is what I think it is, there's a certain someone who's dead, right?
oh, see, I'm not gonna tell you anything because I'm not the type that spoils. I try to avoid that the best I can.
That's fair.
I lived with two people that have never read One Piece, and I lived with them for what was it, more than a year before I actually finally got them to start reading it, and I didn't spoil them a single time, and they finally caught up, and I was able to just unload and just talk to them about it, and it just was a relief.
That's fair. I've always been really bad about spoiling the few people I got into to few shows. So, and speaking of that again, shows. Let's talk about the live actions.
Oh my gosh, the live action! I'm so excited for One Piece live action, man.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good. I personally don't have much faith in it, but it's not because of One Piece or Netflix. It's just because of live action. I mean, a lot of these concepts don't do well in live action. They're anime for a reason. They're drawn for a reason.
Yeah, I can see that, but at the same time, I feel like we get so adverse. I can't remember the words. We get so upset about live actions because all we've seen are live action movies from anime, and there's only what Alita Battle Angel that's a good live action.
Alita was really good.
But then
Alita
again,
was really
we
good.
haven't even read the manga. I haven't talked to anybody who's read the manga, watched the anime, so I don't know how good it actually is compared to its original, stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can just like get us the community to avoid looking at the One Piece live action like it's supposed to be a one for one of like the manga or anime, I feel like it's gonna be so much better that way.
Yeah, and the best thing to do is hold out hope. I mean, no matter how I feel, I'm gonna give it every chance in the world, if not more. So
Yeah, I mean it's always good to give things chances, and that's something that's what I wanted to like talk about real quick. I'm sorry. Um, we see everybody who reads the manga, they get upset about the anime and how they're handling certain things and how it's different from the manga and all of that. I feel like we're gonna see like an inflow of anime only watchers of the One Piece anime get really upset about the live action and how different it is from the anime, and seeing how the manga people normally attack the anime people are going to attack the live action, but I feel like the manga people are going to defend the live action because anime people get upset about manga people doing the same thing. I don't know. It's a real confusing thing, but I feel like something like that's going to happen.
Well, like I said, best thing to do is hold out hope and support it. Really, it's not gonna do very well if we don't support it.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy whatever merchandise that they have for it. I'm gonna pay for it on whatever subscription they offer.
Netflix for sure.
Well, that means I just gotta pick back up my Netflix subscription.
And with Netflix being in the spot it's in after Disney Plus and everybody else, I really don't see them trying to hand out anything that could be good for them. I see them wanting to keep it all for themselves.
Yeah,
So.
that makes sense.
The other thing is, did you know there's another Avatar: The Last Airbender show being made? This one's live action as well. It's a series
Oh, so
done by Netflix as well.
Netflix is really picking up all these like anime and cartoon like copyrights or whatever.
Well, they realized there was a whole weeb community out here in, the US that was not getting catered to.
All weebs do, including myself, is sit here on whatever we like to watch or read and just sit inside all day doing that. So of course they're
Exactly.
gonna make money off of it.
Exactly. I mean, Netflix, became big for just sitting back and doing nothing all day. I mean, are you still watching? Why does it ask me this question? But I have a lot of hope. You have a lot of hope for the One Piece. A lot of people are upset about this Avatar, but I have a lot of hope for this as well. I mean, they're expanding the original script. They're not doing their own thing. It's also a series. They've also got a very big budget. I mean, they plan on having the original writers from the show and from Nickelodeon and helping them to expand this script. They're going to be
Oh,
hour long episodes instead of 20-minute episodes. So they're going to have so much more they can do. I mean, it's supposed to just be a great thing as well.
I like how you just described both the One Piece live action and the Avatar live action in the same way. they
Yep.
When it comes to
And
series going live action, I think that's where they can do it right because they can make hour-long episodes and they can put big budgets into specific episodes instead of putting like a $14 million budget into an hour. That doesn't make it better just because you have a higher budget, but if you have like a couple million here, a couple million here, and spread it out over several episodes, I think that's the best way to actually do a series, you know?
Yeah, and I think the other reason too that, like you said, I kind of had the same explanation for both. I'm a little biased, man. I really don't want them to mess up One Piece. Like, if we get another bad Avatar, like so be it. We can deal with it. We'll always have the show, but I just don't want to see One Piece get played like that. I mean, personally, the few times I've ever seen anything with Luffy's power being rendered into live action, it looks weird.
I don't know. I saw they had advertisement for like screenplay or however they call it in Japan where they were doing like a play or something, and their advertisements for it were Luffy was stretching. They had the scene with Shanks. Like all of that is really good, and it actually got me excited for a possible live action. And we know that Oda is an executive producer on this, so he's already dedicated to his fans, and we all know Oda and how he likes to do things. So I doubt that Oda is gonna let this series be absolute trash.
Fair enough. He did say something, not exactly, but along the lines of, if it's not true to the show or if it's not true to the story and the fans, the plug will be pulled. He's not going to let it happen if it's not worth having. So hopefully Oda himself will do that because we all respect Oda for what he does already. So
Gotta respect the GOAT. Goda, he is number one for a reason.
Oda.
But I don't know. I just want to like hear what's the one scene in like the East Blue that you would be excited for seeing it in live action?
Probably because I'm a big sap, seeing Nami's desk get thrown out of Arlong Park. And, you know, I
Yeah,
mean, that moment when she covers her mouth and she realizes that Luffy realizes what's going on in that place and, like, what that room was to her and all that. There's just a whole realization that sweeps over her face. And that's when Nami finally realizes that she, like, can't turn on them. She needs to support them 100%. They're her friends. It's the biggest scene for me. I mean, honestly, Arlong Park is the biggest and best part of the East Blue, in my opinion.
yeah, it's definitely the best arc. I feel like since it's gonna be 10 episodes, and it's possible that they only do the East Blue in the first season of the One Piece live action, we will have 2 episodes to encompass the Arlong Park arc.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, I mean, like Alvida, and all that stuff with Kobe, all the way up to Zoro. I could see in the first episode.
I would say that would be in episode 2 because we need. Unless they're gonna like start from the point where Luffy starts sailing and then have a flashback of Shanks when he gets his hat attacked by a buggy, which I could see and I'd be cool with. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're gonna get the first episode of Luffy as a kid. He could come up and then the Alvida over to Zoro. That'll be 2 episodes because we need Kobe backstory. We need Kobe's connection to Luffy, and then whenever Luffy and Zoro leave Kobe behind, I feel like that scene is going to have a lot of emotional uh, connection with an American audience.
But here's the question: is how many episodes is that whole Zoro and Kobe story in the anime? It's only like three episodes already, right? From episode 1 to 3 or 4, and they're already sailing off. Doesn't he save Zoro pretty quick?
I'm pretty sure it was
If
4 or 5 like
And if these are
chapters.
hour-long episodes, they're gonna be able to fit in a whole lot more content. You know what I mean? So that's where I could personally I could see, you know, Shanks and Alvida being 1 episode, Zoro being
So
episode 2. Um, After that it was what,
Usopp.
Usopp. Yeah, I could see Usopp being 1 episode.
Wait, no. After Zoro, they went to Nami on the Orange Island or whatever. Fought
Oh, that's
Buggy.
right. That's right. That's 1 episode. Then they go to Usopp. That's 1 episode. Then they go to Sanji. That's 1 episode. Then they go to Arlong Park. That's 2 episodes. So what are we at right now? One.
7.
So that leaves 3 episodes for what? Logtown and getting to the Grand Line. Going up Reverse Mountain. Season 1 ends with their feet on the barrel.
Yeah, I would love to. That's okay. So my 2 scenes that I want to see is the walk up to Arlong Park and that barrel scene, because both of those scenes held a lot to me. And like I could talk all day about those scenes back in the day, because I watched those as a kid in the anime, and then like once I finally got into manga, those were some of the first chapters of any manga that I read. So I can talk forever about those scenes that connected with me, but I need to see that barrel scene done right. In the rain,
Yeah.
legs up, smashing that, and like it fading out. That's one thing
Yep.
I need.
And everyone doing it with no hesitation until it gets to Usopp. He doesn't know.
Usopp all scared about everything always.
Yep, I just saw that scene in Pirate Warriors 3. I'm playing that right now. So
Oh man, I have that, but I think it's in storage. I need to take it out and try to play it too.
it's multiplayer. You know, we can get down together on it too. So
The more you talk about it, the more I actually want to play it, and
I
we talk
love
every
it.
week about it.
I love it, man. I love it. So, but yeah, I think that kind of wraps up our episode for this week. Was there anything else you wanted to bring up, Michael?
Man, I am so excited for this live action. I'm going crazy.
Hey, being hyped is the best option. I mean, don't be a negative Nancy like I am about it. So.
Yeah, that should be good for now, man.
Hey everybody, thank you for checking out the podcast today, and if you like what you heard, you can always find more episodes on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Please give us a like and subscribe, and always watch out for more content. Thank you.